Now we begin the beginning of the end. March. In the month of March, Asmodeus came to me and he told me that his daughter, his youngest daughter, who's 7, would be actually flying back to California with her mother, and she wanted to live over there. And the only thing that I had to say about that was why. Not so much that, the mom is going, but if you have full custody of your daughter and she's been with you for all these years, why would she just be totally okay with upping and flying across the country when she's been with you all these years? That was weird to me. And I'm just like, well, are you okay? Because I know that would break my heart. And I was like, are you okay with that? And he was like, I feel fine. And I was like, okay, maybe he's in denial. In the month of March also, Asmodeus was talking to me more and more about needing to get some maintenance done on his car. And he was dropping hints, and I was just like, do you need help with getting X, Y, and Z fixed? Because you keep bringing it up in conversation, and it sounds like a broken record, and I don't want to sound dismissive and irritated, but I do want to get to a solution. Because every other day you shouldn't be talking about this. Just go schedule to get the maintenance done and call it a day. So he did say to me, yeah, actually I do need help. That's all you had to say in the first damn place. That's all you had to say. He gave me a total for the maintenance fees. I know he needed to get an oil change and some other stuff done. I don't know anything about cars. I Zelled him $182. That was the exact amount that he requested. So I sent that to him. And I said, when you get this service done, make sure you schedule your next oil change when you're there. That way we can keep it on track. So there's no lapse, no worry that your engine's going to build up with sludge and explode someday. In the month of March, we did another school tour for my youngest son, Joshua. Myself, my son, and Asmodeus attended the school. We toured the school for Joshua, and he was in there just doing his due diligence, talking to everyone, talking to the social worker, talking to the guidance counselor and the teacher, the child study team. We're touring the school. He's asking all of these questions, and he was really attentive. Like, he did what a boyfriend would do. He did what a boyfriend would do, and he did what a concerned or interested father would do. Now, the goal obviously was for Asmodeus and I to grow our relationship, it result in marriage, so he would be, potentially a father figure to my children. He would be. So I really did appreciate that he not only went with me, he took me, and that he was so proactive during the tour, asking questions about what time does school begin, what time does it end, what bus company is going to be doing the transportation, all of that stuff and in between. I remember that day we got Five Guys. That day, he and I went to Five Guys, got Five Guys, ate before we left, and went to the school tour. In the month of March, I still tried to do my best to go out of my way and always still continue to be a good girlfriend, despite the fact that Asmodeus was withdrawing himself often. He would come to me and still need things all the time and have expectations, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know what? He's in school full time. He's obviously stressed out about school. He's stressed out about money. So let me be his peace. Every single argument we had wasn't initiated by me. It was initiated by him. And by that time, pretty much weekly, he was asking me if I wanted to leave the relationship, I could just go. And it got to a point where I was numb to it, because the first couple of times I was in fight or flight mode. I was defensive because I was being accused of something that wasn't true, and there was no reason for us to break up. The things that he was bringing up made no sense to end a relationship. So I was like, okay, we're obviously going through a rough patch. I know it's pretty early in a relationship to go through a rough patch, but be that as it may, we live in the real world. Let's be realistic. So I was still making sure that he was fed. I was making sure that he got where he needed to go. I was making sure that he always had money in his pocket. I was making sure that that man was still getting laid and getting all of the intimate attention that he needed. There were times, though, when I was too tired or I would fall asleep, and it didn't happen. And there was this time, I believe it was in March actually too. I worked a 24-hour shift. Do not ask me about whether it's legal or not. I worked a 24-hour shift. I got no nap at all. No nap whatsoever. 24 hours straight. It was so bad that when I got off work and he picked me up from my job, I was hallucinating. I was seeing and hearing things that I knew were not there. I was conscious enough to know that what I was seeing and hearing wasn't real. But I still came home and I still made dinner for all of us. I still made dessert for all of us. He had taken his shower. He went and took a shower first. And I was mad because I wanted to get into the shower first. After the boys had gone, I wanted to get in immediately. That way I had nothing else to worry about. And he saw me getting my towel and everything prepared and ready with my washcloth. He ran into my bathroom and turned on the water, and I knocked on the door and I was just like, hey, I was about to take my shower. And he was like, I'm going first. And I'm just like, the nice, polite thing to do would be get the fuck out of my bathroom and let me go first. I just worked 24 hours straight. You're gonna probably need some of my paycheck anyway, as you always constantly do. Why can I not go in that shower right now first? I also haven't changed my scrubs in 24 hours. But I did not take the bait because it would have been all too easy. It would have been so simple. All he had to do was not get into the shower and let me take my shower first. And he didn't, so I waited. When he came out, I went and I took my shower, and when I got in bed, I completely passed out. I passed out. I remember talking to my sister on the phone, and he and my sister were relatively close. Whenever she couldn't get in touch with me, she would text him and say, hey, with my sister, hey, big bro, hey, brother-in-law, have you seen my sister? Is my sister nearby or whatever? I was talking to her on the phone and I was just like, yo, when people say they start seeing and hearing things from sleep deprivation, it's true, it's real. I completely passed out, didn't hear a thing. Could have been a robbery, I would have known nothing about it. I would have woke up in hell, probably did. So the next morning when I woke up, and I realized it was the next day, I said to him, I was like, why didn't you wake me up last night? And he was like, for what? And I was just like, well, I thought we were gonna spend some, time together. And he said to me, clear as day, I shouldn't have to wake you up. To say that you should have made sure I was satisfied before you closed your eyes and got rest. I didn't feed into it. There is no need to feed into it. It was a losing argument. So I didn't feed into it. So I was like, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. And then I cursed him out in my head the entire next morning on my way to work.